Hello and welcome to Pasadena Pioneers. And we have with us Darlene De Dios, who is with AppleOne, a staffing agency. And I think that if you listen to this podcast, you're going to be surprised by what this company can do for employers in locating people for jobs that are open and candidates out there that are looking for good employers. Stay tuned. So, Darlene, I'm glad that you've finally come to join us. We've met at a chamber meeting a long time ago, and we see each other regularly. I know that you work with AppleOne. You're an executive account manager there. And I thought that would be really good for our viewers to get to know you because of the fact that so many people are looking for good jobs, and there's a lot of employers, especially that need good people. So there's this strong need within the Pasadena area. You've been working for AppleOne since 2018, I understand.
Yeah, 2015.
2015. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you're an executive account manager?
Mm-hmm.
So what does that entail?
Executive account manager, I run both sides of the desk. So I can do the B2B as well as I can do the full cycle recruitment.
Okay. Now, when we talk about B for B or B2B or whatever they call that, what does that mean?
Oh, business to business.
Okay. That's okay. I like it when people do that because then I get to flush it out for folks.
Okay.
So business for business.
Mm-hmm.
And what does that mean?
So I make the connections with local businesses or just local organizations in the size range of, say, 1 to 250 of employees. And I just make that connection and hope to be like an extension to their human resources department and help out with their staffing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you help businesses find quality people, like I just
Correct.
said. Okay.
Yes.
So good. Okay. And the AppleOne organization, from what I've learned since getting to know you, is rather large.
Yeah.
So where's the company located?
So we're homegrown in Glendale, California. So we're right off of Broadway and I think Columbus. So we've been there for 60 years.
Wow.
And our organization has just expanded. Our owners believed in, expanding the real estate. And so we have a lot of local offices, but through the changes recently, the pandemic, we've transitioned to working kind of hybrid or remote.
Okay. And what regions do you cover?
For us, it's Eastern Los Angeles. So within my own territory, we have Cerritos, Monterey Park, Pasadena, Glendale, downtown LA, Beverly Hills, and then our manager also covers the Pacific Northwest as well. So under her leadership, we cover about 12 offices.
Wow.
Yeah.
Much larger than I thought. You had an office here on Lake Avenue a while back. I remember walking down Lake Avenue for lunch and seeing your branch there. But since COVID and everybody's gone remote, you've joined that group of people, of companies, I guess.
Yeah, working. So I guess our owners just found it was cost efficient to kind of just reduce the real estate, and we were successful working from home. We lose the human interaction, so things might change come 2025, but, we've been really excelling and utilizing technology and just really helping out and being able to get to know candidates this way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've dealt with a lot of companies that have wanted to staff people from my firm. They call me and they ask me, hey, do you need anybody? And actually, I've hired a person or two, based off of that. And I've come to know that there are companies that deal with different types of professions or organizations. So AppleOne must have its specialties.
Yeah, so we specialize in finance and accounting and administration in all spaces. So it could be legal, it could be real estate, it could be just small mom and pop manufacturing or logistics. So we're like the core support for the supportive roles in a company.
Okay, and that's what you said, like human resources and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's get a little bit more concrete, I guess, is if a company needed somebody like a collections person or a bookkeeper,
Correct.
they could contact your company?
Yes, they can. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
All right. Where do you get your candidates?
Yeah, so we have basically like a very large funnel, about, we say, 25 resources. We have multiples. For me personally, it's really through referrals. You know, our organization has built our pipeline, helping one person at a time. Our tagline is hiring made human. And so we really built that interaction. My pool of applicants, you know, there are different, I want to say, platforms that we could utilize, but really it's tapping into the community, working with them, sharing who we are, and basically referrals.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's quite different than like the other types of. I don't, what's a nice term? Because I want to call them headhunters, but that's not right. Can I call that?
Yeah, you can call them
Okay, that
headhunters,
doesn't
for sure.
offend you guys?
No.
Okay, so headhunter agencies,
Mm-hmm.
I know some of them deal with the legal field, others deals with entertainment, but you really have the specialty, again, I'm repeating myself, but you have this, the office supports, which is really unique.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so like, if I needed a receptionist,
Yes.
okay, a filing clerk.
Correct.
Wow, okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
And, you know, with the way that you reach out to employers then, how do you do that?
Yeah, so when I'm reaching out to an employer, I'm usually looking to speak with the decision maker of either the firm, the clinic, or the company itself. So I really start from C-suite down, and I talk to the decision maker to see if this is something of a service that they would, have a budget for or would find interest in. Some companies, they feel that having an outside resource is helpful, and sometimes it helps out their internal staff. And then there are some companies that just don't have an actual HR recruiter in-house. So this is a great idea because it's a service and they can pick and choose when they want to utilize us, and they don't have it as an overhead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the most sought after jobs that people come to you for?
Yeah, really, I would say administration. So it'd be executive assistant, receptionist, office manager, senior or junior admin. In certain spaces that I specialize in, like legal, commercial, residential real estate, and nonprofit, I'll tend to get the transactional paralegals, legal secretaries, file clerks, grant writers. So, and then the accounting space, anything from a controller level down, I can help out with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I were to call Darlene tomorrow and say, Darlene, I need a paralegal. You know, one of my paralegals left and I'm in desperate need.
Yes.
So where would you find the paralegal?
So I already have a talent pool that I've created. And so I would reach out to my current talent pool. And then from there, I could, on our AppleOne website, we can actually post an ad for you, free of charge, and we can put like the nitty gritties of what you're looking for, and then from there we would have applicants that would reach out to us.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting is that you post job opportunities on AppleOne. Oh, okay. So that'd be really nice to have your website in mind, you know, when you start looking for people. So I don't know if you're comfortable talking about this, but what is the pay situation? Is it where I'm an employer, I need somebody, are they just temps or are they actually coming aboard to become part of the team?
Yeah, so the fun thing about it is that we're full cycle. So we offer direct hire, temp to hire, and temp. And so you, as the employer, can have the option. You can tell me, like, hey, I'm looking for somebody to cover an LOA or somebody that's just on a contract level, or if you need somebody that actually to be a part of your team. So, you know, we can, if you try to fulfill the employer's needs, we listen to what you're looking for. We have a range of talent. So depending if they are a recent grad, if they're a veteran, if they are returning to the workforce, they relocated from another state, and they're looking for employment.
Okay. And from you working remote, how do you get to know your candidates.
Yeah, it's interesting. We lose the human interactions, but for some applicants, we may set up a coffee date and we meet with them in public, and we can interview them. But generally, day to day, we set up a MS Teams or a Zoom or FaceTime interview. We have them fill out our online application form, which kind of sets the tone and sets the table with them for them to understand, okay, how do we operate, and then who are we, and how do we fall into their career search. We generally spend about 45 minutes to an hour asking them questions, their needs, their wants, their short-term, long-term. We're basically qualifying them for what our clients are looking for. Then we do their references. We actually test them on particular assessments that relate to them, so accounting related or administration. But we also put them through kind of like a safety assessment as well. So we do our due diligence. We kind of dot our I's, cross our T's, because we want to make sure that basically the product, which is the candidate, is a good fit for our employers.
Man, you're always like one step ahead of me, because now I'm leading to a question. It's more of a story. So
Sure.
there was a paralegal that we hired many years ago.
Okay.
And this person came into our office. I think that we must have posted it online, because we didn't go through a headhunter agency. And he gave us a resume, and the resume stated that he was going to a very prominent law school, and he was at the top of his class, and he was a paralegal, and he worked for a big firm downtown, and he had recently left them, but he was interested in working while he attended law school. I looked at the guy's grades in law school, and I thought, man, this guy could not only make a great paralegal, but I think he could make a really good attorney, and maybe we should not only hire him, but groom him to be one of our stars.
Wow.
So we hired this guy, and he didn't do so well as a paralegal. He spent a lot of time at his desk playing with rubber bands. His wife was a paralegal, and I think she might have tried to help him, but as time went on, it got worse and worse, and he was incapable of performing. Eventually, he ran into some problems, personnel problems, and I'm not mentioning his name or anything else, but he left the firm. And about a month later, actually it was more than a month later, it was probably about 3 months later, I got a knock on the door. And it was people that were investigating him for fraud. And he was not a paralegal. Mm-hmm. He gave us a bogus transcription of his law school. He had done this 3 or 4 times before he came to us. And, they were actually going after him for fraud and everything. So when you say that you do the background check, that makes my heart warm. Mm-hmm. Because, for busy people like me, we're not really capable of doing that type of due diligence. And we're also kind of messing a little bit with the law, right? We don't know what's legal and not. Can for example, I call the background people? If they put them on the resume, can I just pick up and call these people? It seems like you're taking on some of the tough stuff there, where you're doing the screening and all of that, mm-hmm. right?
Yeah.
So do you have legal counsel for AppleOne? Where you do? Yeah, I would imagine so. Mm-hmm. Well, that's a real plus there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are
Are you in connection with any of the paralegal programs like PCC? The Pasadena City College is an outstanding paralegal program. Do they try to send you applicants or anything like that?
Sometimes they do.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. So let's see. What's the job economy like now? Now I'm watching TV, and they're telling me that this is one of the best employment periods known to mankind. So tell me what you're hearing.
What am I hearing? Okay. So it's 50-50, to be really honest. The unemployment rate, we're at 3.9. Healthy is about 3.4, I think. And what I'm seeing personally in the market, it's an employer market versus an employee market. There's
Really?
a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of talent out there. But you have to sift through what is good, what's bad, what has potential, right? And for the employer, they have a little bit more stake in the conversation, right? And they're able to make that decision, because if they don't want to take this person, there's another person. And so there's a lot of non-negotiations, and employers are being really honest of what they can and cannot afford. And so I do respect that from a lot of the employers. Like, a lot of people are still trying to recover from COVID and trying to recover from all of the loans and all of those things that were out there. Some are real, some are fake, right? So we're seeing that. So I want to say that what I'm seeing is employers are truly have the upper hand, but I appreciate that they're honest and saying, okay, I really need a candidate. They're generally the 80 to 90,000. Right now, I can only afford them at 60,000. So they want that quality, but they're paying very little. But there's that gap that can help get somebody to grow. So we do a lot of consultation on the employer side as well to let them know what the market is, what their needs or wants. Because sometimes the glass, what they want is really tall. And so then we ask them, if we can get A to C and not A to E, how willing are you willing to operate with us and work with us? And same thing with candidates. We try to uncover, like, what do you truly want? We ask them 5 priorities. Is it money? Is it growth? Is it benefits? Location? What are your top priorities as you're querying for jobs? So, yeah.
Yeah. So you're dealing with, a different generation. I mean, it's always changing. And the current young people in their 20s, let's say them, what are they looking for now that might be different than people that were baby boomers or, around my age?
You're a baby
We just wanted to work.
Yeah, I get it. With that generation, they want the work-life balance. They want the hybrid schedule.
Okay, so let me stop you there. I have a client that I was just in court yesterday. No names, again. I'm not going to name who it was. It'd be wrong. But he's a doctor. And he told me that the new doctors are demanding that. And he's like, I'm a surgeon, man. I start at 7 in the morning and I go until 7 at night. Of course, I'm dead tired all the time. And, it's not easy managing family with that and stuff. But doctors are even doing that? Are lawyers doing that too? So what does it mean?
What it means is, like, everyone just wants that flexibility. And they just want to have, they've seen that when the world was told to go home and stay locked in, some were very successful and some did not know what to do.
Successful at stay at home and locking up?
Locking up and working and making income and figuring it out. So I think it was the saying of figuring it out and figuring out what to do. And they realized, like, wow, I can do so much more with my time. All the time that we spend in commuting, or the banter in the office, or the water cooler talk, how much can be done. So that generation, you're seeing a lot of people that want that flexibility, the ability to, write an email and jump on a Teams call, but still put a load of laundry in, or can go to the gym and not worry about it and be able to still get their work done. So stuff like that, just having that flexibility is what you're seeing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the reverse of that is I'm hearing the employers now, even the big tech companies that were like so enthusiastic about people working from home because it showed how progressive they were and stuff, that they're pulling people back in, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Is that true based on what you're seeing?
Yeah, slowly I think people are, some employers are just slowly wheeling their employees back in. So let's start with 1 day a week, or once a month. And then after, it's probably going to be 2 or 3. So I could see by 2025, 2026, you're going to see a lot of buildings full of staff now. And there's not going to be those protocols. So they want to utilize the space. They want to bring back the team, like, camaraderie and, like, just being able to do that, because they're finding the limitations on Zoom, right? They outsource. They exhausted all of the ability to play games and, have fun, wacky days, like to jump on Zoom or virtually. They want to feel that human interaction and see them. So, yeah.
So that's interesting. So you're having conversations with both sides.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I imagine that you must have enormous amount of data, by speaking to people about. It's more than just reading the stats. You actually have personal knowledge from talking to people.
Yeah, day to day. So, like, I always say that I'm like the mediator, the broker, right? And, like, I am a broker at both sides because I'm speaking to the employer who's willing to pay, and then the consumer, the candidate that's looking. So I'm really marrying the two, finding the right match.
That's fantastic. You're a matchmaker rather than a like an advocate for either side.
Correct.
Okay. And it seems like the tone of the people that I've talked with headhunters, they don't seem to be like that. They're just trying to see, hey, do you like this person and stuff. So, okay, let's talk about how does it work pay-wise?
Pay-wise, yeah. So for us, we're for profit, when we let the employers know that, we get paid by the employer, not the employee. So any talent looking for opportunities, it's a free service. Their investment is just their time to do the application form, the time to sit down with me, and willing to share and be open with me. For the employer side, their time is upfront time, like telling me every nuts and bolts of what they're looking for. If you can give me 15 to 20 minutes to really help me understand what your firm is looking for, what your company's looking for, I can do a better job. The less that you give me, I'm kind of trying to read your mind. But that's why a lot of us headhunters or staffing agencies, we try to go out and visit the clients, and we try to kind of have a tour and really meet the top players, meet the line managers, meet the decision makers, so that we understand personality traits. Because right now it's really about the fit, right? Are they going to fit? Are they going to vibe? Are they going to not conform, but like understand the company culture? And then we're trying to find that match with the candidates.
Wow, that's very thorough. Okay.
Yeah.
So the employers pays you a fee for that.
Correct. So they only pay for results. So again, employers, their time is just giving us the nitty-gritties and the nuts and bolts of what they're looking for. We would do our work, present, post an ad, whatever we need to do. There's no limit. So we just present until the employer says, hey, you know what, I like to see these people. And then from there, we work at your speed. I'm very successful with my employers because I'm very honest and transparent and just saying like, hey, how fast? What's your urgency? Is this just to kind of see what's out there? Are you shopping, or are you serious that you need help, right? Are you losing money? The bottom line, are you losing money because you don't have somebody in this seat? So then we make it a priority. So yeah, it's really just trying to match the needs. And then the client will end up, paying us for that.
During the time that you're looking for that perfect candidate for a company, you could also staff them with some temporary people then too.
Correct.
And that's the beautiful thing. Wow, that's very good.
Yeah.
What I'm really impressed with is the fact that you go on location,
Yeah.
you get to know the company well. I mean, you sit with the candidates out there having coffee, but you also go to the employer and you get to know their culture and what they're really looking for.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Do you do that for all of your clients?
All of my clients.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really, it's push, not push, it's recommended, highly recommended, because that's how we're going to find the right fit, right? And that's, giving that customer service, right? And we want to understand, because I say, I don't just want to be a vendor on your list, I want to be a board member. I want to be there.
That is wonderful. I can't tell you. I've never seen that with a I'm now reluctant to call it a headhunter, a staffing agency, but I've never seen that before where they get that involved. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. And do companies are now, from what you're seeing, is there a trend to have the same type of qualifications that they did, like, say, 20 years ago, like fancy degrees or anything, or has there been a movement?
There's some flexibility. Obviously having a degree is fantastic, but there are some organizations that are just like, hey, you know what, if there's, a minimum of 3 years of experience, then they're willing to. And if there's good reasons to why they were not there, then yeah.
So as we conclude our conversation today, I want to tell you that a lot of what I do as a family law attorney is represent people that have either child or spousal support issues or child and spousal support issues. And sometimes there's people that are not employing themselves the way that they should. From speaking to you, I get, inspired about also what I can do in court because, a company like yours, AppleOne, is available to so many different people that it seems to me that if folks actually used your services the right way, they would have tremendous results because you're really working hard for them and stuff. Yeah. That's really good. Okay, well, again, it's been very nice meeting you. I hope to see you a lot more at the chamber, and I hope to possibly be even picking up the phone and calling you now and then and seeing if we could get some people over here to help us.
I would love that.
Okay.
I would love the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for joining us.